Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are attempting something truly ambitious. We're taking a monumental text of classical philosophy, the Vishnu Sahasranama, a collection of 1,000 names of the divine, and we're just zeroing in on one.
And that's the challenge, isn't it? How a single Sanskrit compound word can contain an entire cosmology.
Exactly.
Our source material here is incredibly rich, and our mission today is to do a deep dive into the sixth name, Bhootabhrit.
And for you, listening, the goal here is clarity. We really want to understand what this specific name reveals, not just about preservation, but about this fundamental, almost consistent rhythm that holds reality together.
The philosophical backbone of existence, really.
Yes. So where do we start?
Well, to start at the root, we should look at the literal meaning. The name is comprised of Bhuta, which means all creation, all beings, the manifest world, and Brit.
And Brit is the key here.
It is. Brit translates to nourishing, supporting, or maintaining. So you put them together, and it instantly establishes Lord Vishnu's function as the great sustainer.
The active force holding everything in equilibrium.
Precisely.
That's an immense claim. Total sustenance. How do the sources even begin to justify that level of, comprehensive total support? Are we talking about just managing the organic world, or does this concept reach deep into the elemental structure of the cosmos itself?
It's the latter. The sources are pretty exhaustive on this point. This is not just a job of management. It's one of total fundamental maintenance. Vishnu sustains creation across two massive categories.
And the first one?
The first category really establishes the scale we're talking about.
Yeah.
The sustenance of the five great elements themselves.
The very building blocks of reality.
Exactly. We're talking about Prithvi, which is earth, Apas, water, Teja, fire, Vayu, air, and Akasha.
Ether or space.
Ether or space, yes. He sustains the integrity of the elements that compose the entire universe.
So if those foundational elements lose their essential properties?
Everything dissolves.
Yeah.
And then flowing logically from that, the second category is all the beings, including us, that are constructed from those five elements.
So this is like a nonstop universal maintenance contract.
Yeah.
It raises an immediate question for me, though, about control. If Vishnu is the active sustainer, preventing the collapse of the elements and nourishing every being, there must be an underlying system, a law that everything has to follow. This can't possibly be arbitrary.
It is the absolute opposite of arbitrary. And this brings us to the really profound concept of cosmic order, which is known in Sanskrit as ritam. Ritam. It's not just a suggestion or, a temporary arrangement. It is the underlying structure, the inherent truth, the fundamental rhythm that existence follows.
So if Bhootabhrit maintains creation, ritam defines the operating manual.
That's a perfect way to put it.
And the philosophical consequence of that is just huge.
Yeah.
If creation is maintained by this order, what happens if that order is violated, even slightly?
Well, the creation collapses. That's why the rigor of this sustaining force is so emphasized in the texts. It's meant to demonstrate that the cosmic machinery is not just running on momentum.
It's not on autopilot.
Not at all. It's running on constant, active obedience to ritam.
Do the Upanishads give us a sense of the sheer, uncompromising nature of this obedience? Because honestly, we look out at the world and we see entropy, decay, and what really appears to be constant chaos.
They do. The sources address that perception of chaos by highlighting the rigor of the macrocosm. There's a critical passage that helps us understand this necessary cosmic discipline. It states, Hi shasma bhavati vayu, pishadeti surya.
That sounds incredibly powerful, even without knowing the translation. What does it reveal about the maintenance of the elements?
It means that the wind Vayu blows out of fear of this cosmic command.
Fear.
And the sun, Surya, rises out of fear of this command. Now, it's not fear in our modern panicked sense. It's more of an acknowledgement of the absolute non-negotiable command of the divine order.
So even the most powerful, massive forces in the universe, the stars and the atmospheric engines, they maintain their paths and their functions based on the dictates of the Lord.
Yes.
So the constancy we rely on, the sun rising every morning, gravity holding us to the earth, the water cycle, that isn't an accident of physics. It's the continuous active enforcement of ritam by this sustaining principle, Bhootabhrit, that fundamentally changes how you view the nature of natural law.
It does. It defines Vishnu's role as the active protector, ensuring that the elements and all life follow that rhythm. The preservation is active and continuous, moment by moment.
Okay, so if this cosmic rhythm is so constant and so vital, does the tradition give us a way to visualize it, this never-ending active cycle?
Hmm.
We've moved from the abstract concept of order to the tangible elements obeying it. Is there a concrete symbol that represents the continuous enforcement of freedom?
There is, and it brings us to one of the most famous and, frankly, misunderstood symbols associated with Vishnu, the Sudarshana Chakra.
The iconic whirling disc weapon. Most people see it as a powerful projectile, a tool of destruction against evil.
Right.
How does that fit into the concept of sustenance and order?
And you've just hit on the crucial esoteric point. While it is certainly a weapon philosophically, the Sudarshana Chakra represents the dynamic, cyclical nature of time and cosmic law.
Ah.
It symbolizes the constant motion and the enforcement of the rhythm. The whirling disc is the cycle of existence itself, the mechanism by which order is maintained and disorder is eliminated.
So the Sudarshana Chakra, in the context of Bhootabhrit, isn't just a celestial frisbee.
Not at all.
It's the embodiment of the cosmic engine, turning constantly to ensure the rigor we just discussed remains absolute. It's the visual representation of rhythm in action.
Precisely. The connection reinforces that Bhootabhrit sustains the order, the rhythm, which is manifested and enforced by the chakra. It is the tool of maintenance and equilibrium.
That is profound. And it successfully links the abstract law, rhythm, to a visual symbol, the chakra. Now let's take the next crucial step. We've been talking about the sun and the wind and cosmic cycles. For you listening, the ultimate question is, where is this immense sustaining force in my actual moment-to-moment existence? How does Bhootabhrit relate to my daily life?
Right. How do we bring it from the macrocosm to the microcosm?
Yes.
And we connect that universal presence to the personal through the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna's teachings are, well, they're definitive proof that this sustaining principle is not remote or confined to the distant cosmos. It is utterly ubiquitous.
What specifically does Krishna reveal about his presence that closes that gap between the cosmic and the personal?
He says, and this is an extraordinary declaration of ubiquity, I am the light in the sun, fertility in the earth, growth in the plants, nourishment in food, heat and fire, and the bhukta.
The eater.
The eater, yeah.
If you just look at that spectrum, it's mind-boggling. It moves from the massive energy of a star to the elemental fertility of the soil, all the way down to the growth in a single plant, and, most personally, the very process of digestion and perception, the eater.
It perfectly illustrates the meaning of the word Vishnu itself. Yapnati Vishnu, which translates to one who envelops entire existence.
So the force maintaining the elemental structure of Jupiter is the same force presiding over the function of your nervous system.
That's it. So the true implication here is that the principle sustaining the entire cosmos, Bhootabhrit, is identical to the energy driving our own internal functions.
The thinking, the breathing, the very act of consciousness.
All of it. The sustenance is internal and external, personal and universal, all at once.
So this is the understanding that the Lord presides over all functions of our body and our mind, nurturing and nourishing all beings simultaneously.
Exactly. I mean, if you just consider the sheer complexity of maintaining a single biological system, let alone a cosmos, it underscores the necessity of this consistent sustaining quality.
That brings us to a structural question about the divine itself. We've established this constant, active, nurturing quality sustenance. Where does this specific function, embodied by Bhootabhrit, fit into the broader philosophical framework of, creation, sustenance, and dissolution?
That's a crucial point for contextualizing this name. Indian philosophy often organized the divine functions into a triad, known as the Trimurti, where creation, sustenance, and dissolution are associated with the three gunas, or qualities that define all existence.
We've previously discussed another name in the Sahasranama, Bhootabhrit, that was associated with creation.
Correct. Bhootabhrit, the creator of all beings, indicates the rajasic nature of the divine.
Rajasic.
Rajas is the quality of energy, activity, passion, and momentum. It's the impulse that initiates motion and really starts the cosmic dance.
Okay, so if Rajas is the impulse, what happens when we look at the third piece of the triad, the winding down, the destruction or involution of the universe?
The involution or destruction of the entire creation is associated with the tamasic aspect, typically attributed to Rudra. Tamas is the quality of darkness, inertia, dissolution. It's the force that pulls everything back into potential form.
So we have the energy of creation, which is Rajas, and the inertia of dissolution, which is Tamas. Where does Bhootabhrit, the principle of sustenance and preservation, find its place in this energetic system?
Bhootabhrit explicitly indicates Vishnu's sattvic aspect. Sattva is the quality of purity, balance, equilibrium, and light. It is the stabilizing force.
That distinction is incredibly important. Why is sattva, or purity, the necessary quality for sustenance? Why can't rajas or tamas maintain the universe?
Well, if you look at the extremes, the necessity becomes really clear. Unchecked rajas, pure, active energy. It leads to burnout, instability, heat. The creation would proliferate wildly and become chaotic, just exhausting itself prematurely.
Right, and unchecked tamas.
Unchecked tamas, pure inertia, would lead to immediate dissolution. Nothing would last.
So, Bhootabhrit, as the sattvic principle, acts as the governor.
The governor, yes.
It takes the creative energy of rajas and applies the perfect amount of balance and structure to it, allowing the created universe to persist with longevity and purity.
Precisely. It is the steady, protective, balancing function. It provides the stability and adherence to rhythm so that creation can flourish within boundaries and evolve healthily, and involution can only happen at the appointed time, preventing premature destruction. This single name, Bhootabhrit, focuses entirely on this crucial function of maintaining that golden mean.
And that wraps up an incredible journey. I mean, from analyzing a single word meaning sustainer, we uncovered the rigorous order governing the 5 great elements. We identified the philosophical significance of the Sudarshana chakra as the mechanism of cosmic rhythm. And we connected that universal order directly to the most personal functions of our body and mind.
All while positioning this sustaining force perfectly within the triadic structure of the divine gunas.
Exactly. You are now significantly better informed on this deeply layered philosophical concept.
And here's a final thought for you to carry forward to kind of integrate this knowledge. If the name Bhootabhrit implies that all the functions of the body and the mind, your awareness, your breath, your ability to think, are actively sustained and presided over by this overarching force, what does it truly mean for you to consciously align yourself with that established cosmic rhythm, or that rhythm, in your own daily actions and ethical choices?
A question of active awareness and alignment, something to mull over as you navigate your own sustained and rhythmic existence. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.